Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Totally Not Mark. We're continuing with his One Piece reviews, and we're covering the Zou arc. And you know what? This arc really surprised me. I remember the first, quarter of it, I was just being like, oh no, it's another setup arc. It's not doing anything. Where is this going? And then all of a sudden it's just, yo, there's a lot going on. There's some really important stuff to do with flashbacks, and this set up a heck of a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I really liked this this story arc. Let's see what Totally Not Mark had to think on
This video is sponsored by Ridgewallet. Zou is the
this.
most enchanting arc of One Piece I've read through, and I've enjoyed my time reading this arc more than practically every single setup arc in the series. I'm serious.
It's an amazing setup arc.
Thrilling, and it succeeds in establishing situations and lore that have made me even
Yep, the whole lore and everything in it is just incredible.
in this story. I get the feeling that Zou might not be held in super high standing amidst the rest of the One Piece catalog, specifically because I've heard no one talk about this 22-chapter long prologue to this massive oncoming section of the story, curiously titled The Four Emperors Saga. I can't wait to get into why I love this arc to a borderline unreasonable extent. So, without further ado, I'm Totally Not Mark, and these are my first impressions of, thoughts on, and review for the magical, the mysterious, and the magnificent Zou arc.
This is a really good arc. It's absolutely sick. Rabbit's class.
So right off the
Rabbit,
bat, the most
carrot.
enjoyable aspects from this arc come from how it's structured, expertly interweaved with the prior Dressrosa arc, the events of which inform
Oh yeah, when they're all saying bye and that.
consequences of this one. We are tied to the perspective of the fractured Straw Hat pirates under Luffy, whom, after defeating and handing over Doflamingo to the Navy, is now in search of his friends on the island.
There, he's on the way to Impel Down.
To escape from Big Mom. The stakes,
Yo.
tensions, and questions this story establishes for its readers to come to grips with right from the get-go are palpable and massively.
Their class. I didn't realise his hair was that colour. Jesus.
Of the story helped inextricably by the fact so much of what has made the arc feel visceral was set up in the arc prior, which, while relatively rudimentary compared to how advanced some of the steps he's taken in the story so far have been, the fact remains that simple and basic additions to the story like this help in a multitude of ways to not only help the pacing of the prior arc by cutting down, focusing the cash you need to occupy, but it also encourages the very prior arc interest to carry a lot of the heavy lifting for this one by establishing tension and a goal for us
This
to follow.
guy's, I don't like him. He mean.
But when you're dealing with the climax of the biggest arc in a long time, it's reassuring to know that Oda is always thinking about the future, no matter how.
Yeah, he always got seeds getting planted everywhere.
Not say about other properties that Toei represent, like Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
Which, while I did enjoy aspects of it to a huge extent, really had very little linking its story arcs together.
Oh mate, no, it was like new story. Wait, what about the stuff that happened in the last one?
Connecting ones as part of a greater story, like One Piece effectively.
One Piece's world building and everything's just amazing.
This is what I loved about the setup for Zou as an arc. But how did I enjoy the arc itself? It's a delicious arc that left me hungry for so much more.
Yeah, you want a lot more afterwards, don't you? You're like, wait.
Every arc I read through, it's exciting, concise, and does not overstay its welcome like others may or may not have in the past. And this arc I would identify as
So many likable characters.
three separate components that ultimately serve to make this story as interesting and well-paced as it was. So let's go through each section and try to identify where its strengths lie and how it implemented them in such an effective way. Kicking things off with part 1, the unknown and the mysterious.
It creates so much tension as well with the whole Wano people and the ninja that's being kept hidden in that.
The goal of the Straw Hats currently is, and that's to regroup before making their next move. However, we are only at this point made aware of the circumstances surrounding Luffy's group on their way to rendezvous with the rest of his crew. And due to One Piece being the story of Luffy, this arc offers a unique circumstance wherein we know exactly the same info Luffy does. And because he doesn't know where the rest of them are, nor what sort of fate had befallen them,
We have no idea.
did they
Yeah.
make it to the island of
Where do I
Zou?
recognise this
Did they
music
get
from?
captured by Big Mom, or did something else happen to them that we aren't aware of yet?
Huh.
These are all questions swirling around in Luffy's mind, and by extension,
I recognise this music.
linking
Bugging
into
me.
the story in a very visceral way, assessing the possible outcomes as the story presses forward. And as this story highlighted during the initial voyage to Zou, it reinforces what we are voyaging for: the missing Straw Hats. With
Let's
Nami
get the
not being there
crew.
to navigate, leading to various navigation tribulations.
She got a new
And with
costume.
Sanji gone, Luffy tries his hand and fails.
He
at
does the
pulling off
cooking, doesn't he? And they all hate it.
These are small clues to the story, but just like Amazon Lily demonstrated Luffy lacking in certain areas his friends helped him.
Everyone else,
So
makes
does
up for it,
this arc
yeah.
demonstrate the struggles they face when they aren't all united, proving in addition to the emotional reasoning we have to find a regroup with the rest of them, they add a utilitarian one. They need each other to survive.
They need food. Fine, Sanji.
We're also greeted by some really interesting fallout and points of view.
Oh yeah, they don't find Sanji, do they? Haha.
That he wants to gather all of the revolutionary leaders and seems to show more interest in Robin than his own son.
Yes. He's very... Oh, like, just so you know, guys, I've just finished Whole Cake Island.
Don't think I forgot about that, Mr. I can control the weather or something maybe like that.
Yeah.
But that's not what's curious about this scene, in fact. It's the instance that Blackbeard seems to have the location of this revolutionary.
Oh yeah, that guy's all like, oh, I found them.
Of overthrowing, which I'm exceedingly excited for, considering I've been waiting for Dragon to do something.
Yeah. Well, Shanks as well. Although he has done more.
And really, he's peppered throughout this tale, but never ever the focus.
Mm.
So I'm interested to see where this plotline goes. And finally, before I move on, it's briefly mentioned that there exists this big individual.
Oh yeah, the son of Whitebeard.
By his mother, who claims to be the supposed son of Whitebeard. So yeah, don't know what
And he's
to make of that.
dead
These
friggin'
side stories
strong.
are really the only instances in this arc that draw our attention away from the main plot, which I'm honestly thrilled about because this happens when they discover and arrive at Zoe. And man, was I not prepared for what I saw. This reveal, with it being a combination
Well,
of
Zoe is
awe and astonishment,
Japanese for elephant, yeah.
in me a feeling I can honestly say
It is
I'm
kinda
not
cool, though,
for
that it's a
second
moving
disappointed
island.
or saw coming. For me, this is the
Oh, when
single
it talks to
greatest reveal
Luffy and
spectacle of
Kinemon.
the entire
We'll get
series,
to that.
bar none. And I mean that. The surge of questions, curiosity, and the notion that we're gonna climb that thing was, needless to say, enough to spur on my desire to explore this world and uncover
And
its
it's walking
secrets.
towards something. There's even a story with the elephant.
Island called Zoe, and what we discovered was a landmass carried on the back of the single largest creature ever shown to us in this series.
It is
was a
ginormous.
100-year-old elephant
Ginormous.
as it marches dead-eyed across its world. Where's it going? Why is it walking? How did Zoe get on top of this elephant? What is
Mystery,
on top of
mystery,
this
mystery.
elephant? All these questions swirled aggressively in my head, creating a beautiful cocktail of curiosity and intrigue. Needless to say, I adored how the story was structured, but now I adore how it's framed. But the first question is, how in the hell are they going to
climb
this
that thing, yeah.
Well, a certain samurai
Hey, hey,
with
he has a
incredible
certain power.
has a proposal.
Yes.
No, what are you?
It looks in so much pain. Oh, look at it, it's crying. Yay.
This was one of the single strangest but best gag sequences that I've probably ever experienced in One Piece. I have no idea how it's structured in the anime, but in the manga, the journey this little cartoon
It's
dragon
such a
character
struggle.
goes on to get the crew to the top of this massive elephant is framed in a very short period of time as an inspirational journey that's even structured like its very own hero's journey. It's so over the top and funny. He accepts
Yeah.
the call to action. He struggles, endures loss.
Oh, they fall off?
Pushes through
Oh.
for the sake of the others and proves himself wrong at the end, rising to the occasion in summoning
Well
the massive
done, my
leg of
friend.
this elephant before disappearing
No.
entirely. It's so ridiculous. And I
And then
look
into the
forward to
floor,
creating
it's like,
something
oh.
so wacky to lighten the mood and discover even more mystery
That's brilliant.
on this island. What's more is that at this point in the story, I had a theory brewing which proved to be wrong, but I'll tell you
Right,
anyway. So
go on.
the Straw Hats, in addition to looking for the rest of the crew here, came to this island in the first place to retrieve the third and final part of the samurai group, a ninja called Raizo.
Yeah.
Now, no description is given about this character, and when the two samurai fall off the elephant, they do so after a monkey fell from the island towards them. For the longest time, I was convinced that this little monkey guy could have been the ninja Raizo.
That would have been
but
dead
it
funny.
wasn't. It was just a monkey.
That would have been dead funny.
About this journey feels like an adventure in its purest form, the likes of which I haven't felt since the group's excursion into the lands of Skypia. And to be clear, I think this works better because we already have the driving motivation alongside the exploration. Zoe is lush and gorgeous, with the panels in the manga
Look at
demonstrating
it.
this fact
Looks so
every
good,
available
man.
opportunity. But curiously, once Luffy races off on his own in excitement, Robin remarks that there are clear signs of a struggle.
Yeah, something's gone on. Something has gone on, and something has gone on. Something bad. Bad guys were there. They suffer so much for their honor, man. Water, yeah, that's cool.
In turn gives life to the entire area, but also causes them significant stress because they weren't really anticipating that. It's small inclusions
It's
like
seawater
this
as well,
that really
no.
bring it to the world of Zoe. Of course it needs water to survive.
Yeah.
And of course the elephant will always need to cool itself off. And it's those admittedly brief moments of detail that add so much
Yeah,
to this
it's
world.
class. It's everything's so clever. It makes
On
sense.
this island, we learn
God.
Every anthropomorphic creature we've ever met
The
in
minx?
this show more than likely originated from this small
Yeah,
back of this
the guy
elephant.
from
That includes the
Big
Bear from
Mom's
Oz
group.
Again,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
any good addition to
The
this
Bear from
story,
Oz as well.
it enriches the prior stories with extra insight and
Yeah,
information.
Perro
In
is his
addition
name.
to that, we also meet Carrot.
Yay!
It's this introduction guided by this dog person called Wanda who's supposedly wearing Nami's clothes.
Yeah, they
She
switched,
leads
didn't they?
Luffy and eventually the rest of the Straw Hats to their base of operations within this world, where they regroup with Nami, Chopper, and Brook.
Yay!
One person is curiously
Sanji,
missing.
no!
Sanji. So where is he? And this instance, when the group
Mate,
finally
Sanji's
meet up
story.
with and reconvene with each other, is where the first section of the story ends. And admittedly, at this point, I had a ton of questions, but thankfully, the next section did exactly what I wanted it to do. It went back in time and showed us what transpired right after we left off with the crew as they were being pursued by Big Mom's ship during Dressrosa. I was massively excited to say the least, specifically because I thought the sequence called for a moment like this, but also because I was really interested to see how Oda would tell a sort of story like this. So let's check out how this story came together and filled in the holes in the plot. Section 2. Filling in the timeline.
Filling in the timeline. Like, what has happened? What's happened since they got there, yeah.
Bringing us all up to speed with the events that have transpired since we last saw Sanji's group 11 days ago in the story. Interestingly, they actually escaped the clutches of Big Mom's ship without much effort with Caesar in tow also. Which reminds me,
Caesar's constantly ongoing as well, he's just constantly there throughout the story.
Big Mom's ship to arrive at the base of this enormous elephant carrying
Been with them since
himself.
Punk hasn't, he's like,
What's
whoa.
interesting about this whole encounter to follow is not only the curious characters and circumstances they uncover, but more so the fact that this timeline conflicts with Robin's remark earlier about the city coming into conflict over 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
And naturally, Nami's story corroborates this fact. Something happened before even Sanji's group arrived. And all the while this tale is being recanted by Nami, in the back of our minds we have the single piece of information we are waiting to learn
Yeah,
about.
what happened to Sanji?
That's Sanji's
Yeah.
disappearance.
Come on.
Now, naturally, there are a host of other questions the gang are looking to learn, and slowly over the course of this explanation from Nami, we learn the harsh and uncomfortable fate that befell the poor civilization almost 3 weeks prior at the hands of one of Kaido's main men, Master Jack.
He is
The design of this
mean.
person is massively intimidating, and with a bounty of 1 billion berries, it really puts into perspective the magnitude of a threat this individual boasts. And despite the forces of
And he can transform into a mammoth.
on this island not
Can't he?
cooperating, they do provide a decent struggle.
I love the whole Three Musketeers thing they got going on as well.
Perhaps the most interesting part is the reason this Master Jack of Kaido's empire has chosen to ransack the island in the first place. They are looking for Raizo
Yeah.
from Wano.
Oh my
I'm
god.
completely unaware of how this particular grouping of scenes plays out in the anime, but in the manga, the visuals depict a truly harrowing
It's
circumstance
not
after the
nice.
fall of two leaders, Duke Dogstorm and Cat Viper, alongside their many people, declaring and pleading with their torturers that they
like,
do not
he's
know
not
of
here.
if they ever harbored any such individual. In the face of this, maybe because they don't believe them, or maybe because they just like it, the forces of Master
Just keep
Jack
going.
insist
Just
on
mean.
dragging the
Just
poor inhabitants of this country kicking and
really
screaming
mean.
to near death. It's horrific. We're also
It is horrific,
introduced to a bunch of
yeah.
other characters working under Master Jack, including but not limited to a certain individual called Sheepshead. He's not a very nice guy. After many days of this torture, out of seemingly nowhere, Master Jack was called away on an urgent need, leaving just a skeleton crew behind to finish them off. And this is where our Straw Hats Sanji, Nami, Brook, Chopper, and Momonosuke arrive with Caesar in tow. Again, every piece of information drip-fed throughout this story helps us add context to different visuals we were shown earlier in the arc when Luffy and them arrived. We've seen the ruined structures, we've seen the racks where people were left to die on, we've seen every wound this damaged civilization.
They've gone through a lot.
Now
A lot.
we have an appropriate context for everything. And what's more is that the events that took place in the last arc totally informed the events of this one, down to a T, and I absolutely adore that. It might not seem like a huge issue when thrown out quickly, but something One Piece has usually been really good at is avoiding convenience when it comes to the events the characters participate in. For me, the sign of a weaker writer or weak
God,
story
GT.
structure is one that has their characters arrive at a location where, as luck would have it, something out of the ordinary for that particular village or town is happening, or maybe a random chance event lures them in. A good example of this plot orientation in action can be observed in series that typically adopt the monster of the week type.
Yes,
They might have a
definitely.
loose overarching plot, but
Power
it's really
Rangers,
the focus of every given
Digimon
episode.
definitely did at the
These
beginning.
characters encounter fantastical things within This sort of
Yeah,
causes
give him
the
Pokemon
characters
that
to
as
feel
well, yeah.
more like passive participants in the world, while other more active or interesting ones inform the events that unfold. Admittedly, this is a preference I have, and there's nothing wrong with liking that format, but I love characters that are active within their own story. I love individuals that once they enter a room become the focus because
Yeah, not
they
like...
are causing the interesting things to happen.
Not the interesting thing be happening around them.
This is why Vegeta during the Saiyan and Namek arcs was so interesting.
Oh my god, yes.
Luffy. How many times have I described a scene where Luffy pretty much just wings it or decides to randomly go on the offense? He doesn't wait for the story to happen to him.
No, he makes the story happen.
To the story.
Yeah.
And as consistent as ever, Luffy happens to this island too. You see, once he defeated Doflamingo, Kaido suddenly became aware of it. And because he had that skin in the game, needing Doflamingo, he ordered Master Jack, someone he could trust, to leave whatever he was doing on Zou and pursue to free Doflamingo from his naval escort. The events of Dressrosa not only set up this arc, but this arc, simply put, couldn't have existed without it. It is,
right, yeah, makes sense.
inextricably linked with the events of Dressrosa, with, as I mentioned, its setup being informed by it, and quite literally all of what makes this arc interesting in a narrative sense spawns from that arc also. The mystery and the stakes would not even remotely be at the same ballpark level had it not been for the last installment. And because of this upheaval and leaving on behalf of Master Jack, once the first group of Straw Hats did arrive, they were able to liberate the people of Zou from their torturers in addition to providing the necessary aid. And because they provided aid, when Luffy arrived with his crew, they were treated like heroes.
Yeah, because they did good stuff.
Everything is connected, everything makes sense.
Yeah, One Piece is just, incredible, incredible. I've binged so much this last week.
And the simple addition of it shows the far-reaching implications of the actions the crew are taking these days. No longer confined to the East Blue or the naval-dominated section of the Grand Line, we are in the new world.
We are. We're there. And we're nearly at Wano. I've literally just started Wano. I've read like 3 pages.
In addition to that, we got some nice teamwork during these flashbacks as Sanji takes out the brutes, but still, the weapons used to win this struggle over the Minks of Zou were gas-based and creations of Caesar himself. So
Bad man.
I think he's there and just sucks up everything.
He just
However,
sorts that out, yeah.
With all the context, we are still missing crucial information concerning the whereabouts of Sanji, and this scene covers just that.
Oh yeah, he turned out to be a bit of a... but then turned out to be a...
This is the scene that pretty much dictates and will inform the series of events that'll no doubt unfold within the next coming arcs, and perhaps even further beyond. I have no idea if the effects are still being felt today of this scene, but only time will tell. Regardless and irrespective of future complications, this scene in this arc creates a powerful moment for Sanji, which I'm honestly... As it happens, 2 days prior to Luffy and the gang showing up on Zou, Big Mom's forces appeared on the island.
Yeah, they did.
They announced that they are there for 2 reasons, but interestingly, the lion mink in their company by the name of Pecoms, one of the leaders in this group,
That's the one, Pecoms, not
declares his
Peril.
gratitude towards them for saving his homeland from the rampaging forces of Kaido.
Which was
Saying
cool.
that they
It
will
was like, yeah.
Caesar and not anything regarding their second mission. And
But...
that's when this happens.
Damn. Jesus. Okay, the anime makes it a lot more brutal.
The series of flashbacks takes root. Capone Benji, another one of the in-command personnel and part of the worst generation, much the same as Law and Luffy, takes the initiative by shooting Pecoms for his weak and overly sentimental approach, getting in the way of why they were there in the first place. They are there
For Sanji.
reasons. The first is to retrieve
Yeah, they need Caesar.
which none of the Straw Hats have any protest about, but the
Yeah, of course, it's like, God,
once they step inside his body. Wielding the power of the castle fruit, a portal opens into the ranks of the internal fortress.
Yeah, his, like, devil fruit's pretty damn good, like...
This is when the news is finally revealed and their second objective is laid to bear. I love this scene. Within it, we learn a tremendous amount regarding Sanji's upbringing and backstory in just a few illuminating pieces of information.
And then the name's a big deal.
Crime family called the Vinsmokes, of which he's the third son.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I always figured he was an orphan, given the circumstances surrounding his introduction to the series with Zeph and his backstory.
They've done a very good job, like, setting up Sanji's story, man.
His nuclear family are not only important, but also alive, is something I'm not even sure I know how to reconcile yet. Immediately, I'm filled with surface-level suspicions.
Yeah, it's like, come on, what's going on?
There must be a good reason for him to leave. Someone must have helped him leave. I mean, he was a very young child at the time, and during this arc, a specific emphasis is drawn on the distance he 35th daughter of Big Mom, going by the name of Pudding. I have
Pudding.
no idea what to make of this news or what sort of
And you know what?
implications might stem from
He's
this. All I do know is that Sanji demanded
he likes what he
his
sees.
friend in return, he will go to the tea party being held by Big Mom. Sanji writes a letter before taking his leave.
I'm meeting a girl, isn't it something like that?
Such important news regarding the fate of one of the original 4 Straw Hats. This story once again pulls the rug out from beneath my feet.
Oh my god, yeah, when, brutal, absolutely brutal, this stuff, and then when it turns out, oh my god. I had to stop reading for a second to just take in what I just read. I was like, whoa. What? What? Yeah. Mind blown.
Tying up the end of this section in a surprising but welcome bow is the reveal of Raizo. The samurai they had initially arranged to go to Zou.
I like all the jokes they do with the... Doesn't he do a shadow clone thing? And, someone else?
The inhabitants not for a second entertained the idea of ever selling him out to their torturers.
Absolute honor, man.
They also tied him up and did everything in their power to make sure that he was none the wiser of their plight.
Yeah.
It's honestly quite sad and adds a lot of respect to the minks that live here, specifically when Raizo talks about how they brought him food and took care of him despite their clearly worsening conditions as the days progressed. It's a harrowing tale and not to mention makes a great little swerve when also informing us of the alliance the country has with Wano.
Absolutely. Oh, then it's like, whoa, okay, so then what's happening next? And why? Why is he leaving us there? Yeah, we go. Ah.
This is the section where Oda drops a much welcomed and hefty exposition dump. I say welcomed because of a single piece of information Wanda mentions towards the beginning of this arc, and that's that this civilization has been atop this elephant for 1,000 years, which meant that it was perfectly within reason for me to infer from that this civilization might have something to do with the Void Century.
Yeah, definitely, that's what I was thinking, yeah. And Ponteglyph, yep. It's a red one. There's 4.
It's a redstone poneglyph, and these things are bloody important. This is the first sign of an end goal or a means with which to get the location for an
All 4 of them take you to the One Piece.
You see, this special red poneglyph thing is part of a 4-piece set. Each one points to a specific location in the world, and if you plot all the locations gathered by all of these on a map and intersect the coordinates, you get the location of Raftel. The reason why Raftel is important is because it was only traveled to by the former king of the pirates.
Goldie Roger.
And may also be the location
of the One Piece.
treasure, so it's sort of a big deal. Not just because
just a little bit of a big deal.
Easily understandable goal for us to follow, but it also informs the rest of the story from here on out because once the situation with Sanji gets addressed, they will have to try to locate and decipher the locations of all of these redstone poneglyphs. Which seems straightforward until you come to understand that 2 of these are in the possession of Big Mom
and Kaido. Yeah. Oh my god.
Interestingly, however, all the Straw Hats technically need to do is to find the locations pointed to on these maps, which sort of opens us up to lies and deceit. I mean, what if Luffy trusted someone who told them that the poneglyph was pointing to a specific location, only to find out that
it's
was
not.
a lie?
Yeah.
That would totally throw off the location of Raftel and would make for some serious tension between 2 characters. And that's just one way the story could go with this particular.
Well, they could do a lot with it, can't they? I can't wait to see what's coming next. Oh, Jesus.
Then buckle up. Momonosuke isn't the son of Kinemon or any other samurai.
That's the one.
He is in fact a noble heir by the name of, which explains his bratty attitude, further recontextualizing prior events. But what's more is that I learned the people of Wano 800 years ago created the poneglyphs, which is of course curious or obvious timing depending on your definition, considering that that was when the Void Century occurred.
Yeah, of course.
However, more recently, Kaido
so
and his
much
pirates are after invading Wano,
still to find
their
out.
king not cooperating, they killed him. We're talking about a guy who apparently sailed with Goldie Roger to Raftel, by the way. This is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Apparently his dying wish was to open Wano's borders to the rest of the world, so I'm sure that will play as a motivation in the future. But needless to say, this arc...
Nami's like, the money!
So now not only have we a goal for the next arc, which is to suss out the situation with Sanji and to get him out of there, not only have we a goal after that in dealing with the oppressive shoguns of Wano and liberating the country from Kaido, but we also have a separate overarching B or C plot where the Straw Hats need to partake in the single most important scavenger hunt ever concocted. It's bonkers, and this arc is still not done. Despite this being short-lived and not really focused on action at all with the main cast, it serves to bring yet again another vital piece of information to the forefront of my mind. Master Jack attempts to kill the elephant that's
Oh god, yeah, that was like one heck of a... You just don't think that. He's like, attack the elephant. It's like, whoa. Yeah, because he's able to hear the elephant as well. Luffy and him can both hear the elephant. And then... But he's the only one that can talk to the elephant.
Luffy and Momo is the voice of the giant elephant. And this situation is almost the exact same as the one which occurred during the Fishman Island arc with the princess there. Luffy can hear it, but Momo can hear it and communicate.
And communicate, yes, like, whoa.
It to take out Master Jack in one of the most intimidating panels when the elephant
Mate, you don't want that coming at you. Yeah.
What we're mentioning here is a subtle difference between the Neptunians and this massive elephant that I've noticed. The Neptunians seem to have their own agency, and this elephant needed the order from Momo. To me, that's super interesting, but I'm not exactly...
But it does seem to have its own mission of its own, this elephant, as well. It's walking to somewhere specific.
Whether it be the pursuit of Kaido's men to hunt down Marco, which I never touched on, by the way, but will definitely in a later part, because I'm sure it will come up later. Carrot with
It's
all of her
just
furry cuteness opted to
it's only
tag along
just been mentioned now, I think.
Whole Cake Island alongside Nami, Chopper, Brook, and Pedro to save Sanji, or the series of panels dedicated to showing all the royal
Yay, because they're on the way to the reverie.
including Princess Vivi, by the way, for the reverie. Oh, and Master Jack is a fishman? What? And I didn't even mention the base where the revolutionaries and dragon work out of has been completely toasted.
Yeah, that was in the paper, wasn't it? Yeah.
Short, so much is
A
happening.
lot has happened in that
I
one.
have mentioned countless times throughout the duration of this video, a massive fan of the structure implemented. The opening establishes and invokes a visceral sense of mystery. The middle deals with exploring and uncovering the secrets introduced in that opening, and the final part extrapolates new and fantastical ways with which to view the world, with far-reaching implications for the story moving forward. To say that I enjoyed this would be an understatement of the highest order. In my opinion, this arc achieves a level of proficiency and efficiency, all within a sufficient and succinct amount of time. It's tightly paced, it's exciting, it's exceptionally well written, it's got some
It is. It's got everything.
Most inventive comedy I've seen in this series. The only setback I could see this arc having for some people out there is the level to which it abstains from the typical fight scenes. Now, there are
That's true, it doesn't, but I think that's the beauty of it being so short.
among those that don't really take part in action during this section. However, that didn't bother me even in the slightest. We had tons of fighting during Dressrosa.
Yes.
It was time for a break in my
It was.
opinion, and Zoe
Breather.
was the perfect continuation.
Everyone's healing.
While not reaching the heights of the Sabaody Archipelago arc in terms of tension and action, I think it far exceeds it in practically every other metric. Making this
It's set up so much, and it's informed us of so much that's happened in the past.
Entire One Piece series. And I have no idea if that's a controversial take, but there it is. Next week, once again, in an effort to address as many things as I possibly can and to not disappoint you guys, I'll be covering the first half of Whole Cake Island. But that'll do it.
He says that, but I'm sure it's 3 parts. It's pretty big, Whole Cake Island.
Thank you all so much for watching.
He mustn't have realised how big it was. Because, yeah, I'm sure there's 3 parts to his review for Whole Cake Island. And oh my god, I love Whole Cake Island. This is just like, ah. But, yeah. That was, that arc was class. That arc was class. I went into it thinking, ugh, another bloody setup thing. When I saw how short it was as well, I was like, ugh. But then, just full of information and, like, other stuff. And there's so much more going on after it as well. It's like, oh my god. So, yeah, next week we'll check out part 1 of Totally Not Mark's Whole Cake Island review. Yeah. And thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, the link is in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month or less helps support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for that, you guys. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. It's all you guys next time.